At this point, I'm going to put in or install the electrical portion. The electrical box is going to go right here. Let me go over the components you need. You'll see that the pump comes with a cord. We'll utilize that cord. Let's see if I can get this over to here. I bought a 25-foot 12 gauge 3-wire cord, so it's got you need a cord with a black, a white, and a green for your ground. I wanted something, a heavy duty rubber cord, because this is like construction stuff. It's going to be moved around, banged around, so I wanted a tough cord. That is 25 feet. It was about $27. Then you're going to need a, a, a male end. Some some wire cutters, and you'll need some wrenches of sorts. Um, then these are wire nuts. Let me show you something. These wire nuts, there's different kinds, and you'll see on the box it'll tell you how many wires and what it says. Except this is a wing nut. It has wings on it. See, there's a wing here and here. What that does is that allows you to grab the wire nut, and you have a lot more pressure, a lot more cranking power with the ones with wings. So this is just a food for thought. Okay, the other components. We're going to need an electric box, okay? Because I wanted the wires to go up into the box instead of down, I needed one with 2 holes on the bottom. So I will plug the top ones. It comes with plugs. But the reason I want the wires to come in from the bottom, with water goes downhill. So if you have your cord coming from the pump, it goes down and then it loops and comes up. The water's not going to go into the box. Same with the extension cord. Instead of coming out the back or the top, if it comes out the bottom, the water goes downhill. That'll keep it dry. Because it's a wet area, you can put some sealant on the threads of the plugs. You can use maybe even like a plumber's putty, or that stuff, that the thread seal putty, and put in here if you would like. The other components is to grab the cords. This box happened to be 3/4 inch, and those other parts were 1/2 inch, so I had to get an adjuster. What this will do is fill in the 3/4 threads, and then I'll have 1/2 inch threads. I'll get you the part number on that. These were actually picked up at Lowe's. I mean, I'm sure Home Depot would have them or anywhere else, but they'd be a different part number maybe. So it's a 3/4 to 1/2 inch reducing bushing, and that's the part number right there. Okay. Let's see if we can go like this too. Okay. Here's your cord has to tie into the box, and you can use these. Now there's 2 different cord grip connectors. If you'll see, this was the 49212, 49211, and what that is they're different because there's a piece of rubber in here. I'll take it out. And they're different diameters. Okay, for the thick extension cord, I needed the thicker one, the bigger opening, and for the cord that came out of the blower, I needed a tinier hole. Let me put these down. Right there is the cord range on 0.260 to 0.375. This one was 375 to 0.500. So this one would have been for the extension cord. This one would have been for the cord coming out of the blower. It's a smaller diameter cord. And this is pretty self-explanatory on this. You're gonna slide the nut on and see if I can get it in here. And when it's tightened, it compresses. Okay. And then it'll lock it in. Then you'll tighten that with some wrenches. And then you have your reducer, and then this will tighten into here. Okay, so okay, let me pause. I had to pause because I had it backwards. So this will screw in, and you'll tighten that, and then I'm just showing you on here. This will tighten into like this. Okay, let me pause, and I got to strip these wires and get it ready. Okay, the box is prepped. I got the two plugs on the top, the reducer, and then this is the cord hold. So I'll put the other cord hold in. Oops, we get this. It's kind of hard to work through a camera. Okay, and I'll put this one in. Let me just pause it and do it. It'll be easier. To mount the where's my finger? To mount the box, you could just go ahead and use like a Tex screw that look like this. It's got a self-drilling end on it. Hopefully I can do this and you'll be able to see. I actually pre-drilled the holes. So that'll lock it on. Okay, I'll pause it and we'll get ready to the next piece. So inside the box there is a green nut right here. I'm going to take it out. We need an auxiliary wire, or we need another wire, which okay, I'm going to zoom this out if I can. And I made a wire with a little a U shape in it, and that's going to go around that bolt actually, and that's going to ground the box to the ground wires. Actually, I'll try to do that just right here, right now. So it'll slide over that bolt. That's why I bent it the way I did. But because it's a metal box, it has to be grounded. I'll go ahead and pause that, and I'll slide that in, and then we'll lock it in, and then we'll proceed. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, on this extension cord, oh man, it's so dark, it's hard for you to see, I'm sure. I'm going to come in close. I got some electrical tape, and I had to do a couple wraps to make it this rubber thing to slip on a little tighter. You may have to do the same. Okay, now it's time to go ahead and lock these in. So slide them. Hopefully you can see that my arm's not getting in the way. Slided it in. That rubber thing locks in. The V part of the rubber, I think, is to be pointed down, so it can mushroom and tighten. And then we'll I need the bigger one. Okay, I'll tighten that up a couple more wraps, and then we'll pull it. Okay, now it's pretty good and tight. One thing I need to show, if I forget to show in this video, is this needs to be plugged into a GFI outlet. If not, you can get a little portable GFI. I'll go grab one, show you. I almost forgot about the timer on and off switch. I could not find, let's see, I could not find a local store that had a timer with a 5-minute switch on it. Hold on. So I had to order one online. This is what I found. It has a 5-minute timer on it. Let's see, it's there you go. So you can order it. There's the brand. It looks like it's FF5M, but you can just do the brand and then the timer. Let's see, I don't think you don't need that, but you'll probably need that. Okay, let me pause it. Okay, with your wire nuts, we're going to take the 2 white wires, and then we will put those together, and then the 3 green wires. Remember, we added another ground wire that we connected to the box. So the 2 white wires will go together, and then the 3 green wires will go together. So I'll put these on, and then we'll go from there. I ended up using a little bigger wire nut for the green wires because they're 12 gauge and they're pretty thick. Okay, now the last one to do is our hot wires. We're gonna go ahead with the clip and go ahead and strip it. These are not going to go into the wire nuts. They're actually going to go into the back of the box. Okay? You'll want to bend and twist these wires so they're kind of neat. The green wire that was used in this box for the ground, you could actually use a bare copper or green, and then your neutral is obviously white, which is the white one. Let's get that in here. And then I will put in the box, the base plate, and then we'll give her a test. Now, oops, let me stop. Now it's time to do the plug. On this one, there's black goes to black, green goes to green, and white goes to white. But when you see it have like a gold and a silver, gold is hot. Gold would be the black. The silver would be the white. So if it doesn't have the colors that are obvious. Okay, why that screen is dark again. Okay, I will pause it for a second. Okay, the electrical portion is done. I have the box in with the timer, and the cord is in. But before you plug it in, you need to check one other thing. Let's come over to here to the outlet. Okay, you need to plug into an outlet. It'll have a reset and a test button, and check them and make sure they work, because if you should short out because of the water, it'll pop that breaker and could save your life. If you do not have a GFCI protected outlet, you can buy a portable one, and let me grab it. I'll pause. Okay, to plug into a wall, if you don't have a GFCI outlet, you can get one like this, and it has a test and a reset button, because these will be used in places that may not have one, an old barn or something that might not have a protected outlet. You can get one of these. On a construction site, I will use what's a pigtail, and that has 3 outlets, 1 insert, but it's also a GFCI. Okay, and you need to use one of these for your bubble washer, and you should always use them anyways. If you don't have a protected outlet, that would be the last thing. The next part of this series will be the drain system. Okay,